stressed and anxious at school and feel like you want to throw in the towel and become a park ranger, a basket weaver, or anything at all that isn't in education? Or are you just ready to move into a different type of job in education? Do you have interests and ambitions that you want to pursue, but feel like you don't know how to take that next step? Maybe you want to work from home or own your own business and own your own time, but don't know what to do or how to do it. Welcome to Empowered Educator. Maybe you're ready to leave your classroom job and move into administration. Maybe you want to leave public education completely and pursue a career that keeps you in the field of education, but is different than what you're doing now. Maybe you just want to make more money or work from home, but you're just not sure about the options that are out there. Hey friend, I'm Melinda, an educator, entrepreneur, coffee, and Jesus lover. When it was time for me to leave the classroom and pursue something different, something more, I knew it completely, and I had no doubt that God was telling me to move forward and to trust Him. And now my mission is to empower you to dig deep and know what options are available for teachers ready to transition from the classroom, educators ready to try something different, and educators ready to retire and pursue that second career. Imagine working in a career that sets your soul on fire, or working from home in a career you love, and scheduling your entire day your way. If you're ready to make that change and pursue a different path in your educational career, then you're in the right place. Friend, let me show you how to make a change in your life and pursue your true passions with a position that you love while using your God-given gifts and talents to persevere toward your personal and professional goals. So grab your coffee or tea, your notebook and pen, and relax in your favorite spot. Friend, it's time to dig deep, take notes, and grow yourself and choose your next career path. All right, let's get going with today's content. Today, we're going to talk about aligning yourself with God to grow your strengths. I have 4 different ways to align yourself with God, and the first one is to align yourself with God, and that is aligning your thinking with God's thinking. In Psalms 37:4, it says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." And I like to change that word give to reveal, because sometimes we think of this verse as if we align ourselves with God or we do what God says, then we get to choose what He wants us to do, or we get to choose the things that we want. And that's not really what this verse is saying. This verse is saying that if you delight yourself in the Lord, He's going to reveal to you what the desires of your heart should be, because He's already given you the things that you need. He just needs you to be open to hearing what He has for you. And He's revealing that for you through the Word and through your thoughts. And when we're not aligned with God, we are not maximizing the potential that He has for us. And when we aren't aligned, we're just kind of floundering out there and just trying to figure it out and making things up as we go along. And that's not where we want to be. And the only way to know if you're aligned with God and to know what your strengths are or your talents that He's given you is to know yourself as God knows you. To know yourself the way God knows you is to know God intimately, so He can reveal to you who you are. And the way we get to know God is to spend time with God. Spend time getting to know Him like you do your spouse or your boyfriend when your spouse was your boyfriend, or if you are currently dating. Make a date with God every day. Date God like you date your boyfriend. Spend time talking to Him and cultivating and tending that intimate relationship with God. If we don't cultivate a relationship with our significant other, then over time it will die, just like anything that's not cultivated. But you can also think of God as your manager. In StrengthsFinder 2.0, Tim Rath says that managers who focus on strengths of their employees have 99% engagement from their employees. In education, we tend to think of strength areas and areas of growth or growth areas, but not all of our areas that we are not successful in are growth areas. Not all of our weaknesses are areas that can nor should be grown. A long time ago, I wanted to be a speech therapist. I wanted that so badly. And so I started taking classes. I was a speech implementer at a school. I absolutely loved it. And I just knew that's what I was going to do. I was going to go to college. I was going to be a speech therapist, and that was going to be my career. Well, I went to college and I took classes. And no matter what I did, God did not allow me to get everything aligned to get that degree. While the speech therapy or the speech implementer job was what I was supposed to be doing at that season in my life, that long-term degree was not the strength area that God wanted me to cultivate. Number 2, we don't get to choose our talents. God does. Like I said, I wanted to be a speech implementer, but it was not happening. He did not want me to, so I did not get to cultivate that. Like I said, I did not get to choose that. And there are a lot of different reasons that we don't get to choose what we want. We get to choose what He wants. So sometimes He lets us try things on our own. He let me try to be a speech implementer a speech therapist. It was not working, but He let me try anyway, just to validate my need for Him. He let me struggle because He wanted me to see that if I will just trust Him, I won't have to struggle to do something. You know, a long time ago when I was a kid, little kid, I wanted to be an actress. That's what every little girl dreams of, an actress or a singer or something like that. Maybe not every little girl, but a lot. And I was one of those. But that didn't happen. I didn't get to choose that talent. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Right now, that is not a life that I would like. Being in the public eye. I am I will come to my apartment and I will be in here for days if someone doesn't make me or if I don't run out of food. And at this particular season of my life at 49 years old, I cannot remember things. It would be such a struggle for me to try to remember lines. I can't even remember what I wore yesterday, much less a line from a movie or something. Number 3, seize every season. Even though I didn't become a speech pathologist, that season in my life was very important to get me out of the teacher mindset and push me toward other things. Exodus 35:10 says, "All who are skilled among you are to come and make everything the Lord has commanded." He gives us certain things at certain times, and He wants us to use those at the specific time that He has given them to us. And once we're finished with that particular task or that particular season, we don't need to cultivate that any longer. It's important, however, that you know what skill He wants you to use during what season. A long time ago, when I was teaching at a school, I needed technology skills. I'm pretty good at tech, and it's something that I had a passion for. In my particular job, those years that I was there, I needed technology skills. So I did everything I could to grow those skills. I got Google certified. I did all of these things because I needed those skills at that moment. Right now, I don't need to grow the same exact technology skills that I needed at that point. I need different skills right now, though, for podcasting. I didn't need podcasting skills, at that time. So I didn't cultivate that. I didn't learn how to use Audacity, but I did learn how to use Word and Excel because I was teaching those classes. I also played piano for the youth group. We didn't have a pianist at a particular time. And in our church youth group, I was the one who played for a little while. And as kids learned to play, and they started getting older and they got more confident in their skills, they took my place as the pianist. And so I don't need to cultivate that skill as much anymore, but those kids need to cultivate that skill right now. And number 4, lastly, you are his masterpiece. Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so we can do the good things he planned for us long ago." You know what that says? My friend, that says we have the freedom not to worry about our journey nor our destination. We don't have to worry what skill that he is going to give us or when we need to use it because he's already predetermined all of that for us. We just need to cultivate it and be prepared to use it when he tells us to. And we all have different skills, so never compare yourself to someone else, my friend. When you compare yourself to others, God told me this a while ago because I am so bad about thinking, oh, wow, I wish I was doing what they were doing, or I wish I could do it as well as them. But when I do that, it invalidates God's work and his plan for me. And when I do that, or when you do that, when you try to be something that you're not, like I can't play basketball. I can try, I can work on that. But what that does for me is create anxiety, jealousy, and confusion in what he really wants me to do. And when we're doing that, we may be listening to what God's saying, but we're not actually hearing what God's saying. I'm really bad to try to multitask, and I am not real great at it. I'll turn on a podcast or something and I'll be listening to it in the background, but I'm not actually hearing what the podcast is saying. I'm hearing stuff, I'm listening, sort of, but I don't know what's actually being said. So then I'm going to have to run it back and play it again just so I can pick up on what I missed. God is telling you what he wants. You just have to hear his words, my friend. Don't just listen, but actually hear what he is saying. And that goes back to having that relationship with him and knowing him intimately. You cannot hear him if you do not know him intimately, and if you don't cultivate that relationship with him and grow that skill of being in his presence and knowing what he is saying. Learning to hear what God says is a skill in itself. Being in his word, praying daily, consulting or having a mentor to help you through those moments, that helps you learn what he is saying, or helps you learn to hear what he is saying. And another thing that he brought to my attention this morning was, what if your journey is slower because you need more refining? Or what if your journey is slower because you need to bring someone with you that isn't quite ready yet? It's not always about you, my friend. What if there's someone who needs something that you have, but if you moved ahead, you would leave them behind and they would miss out on a great opportunity because you moved so fast. I really love it when the Holy Spirit speaks to me. And I'm telling you, when I was typing this stuff, like I was struggling at first and then I just stopped and I prayed and I'm like, God, give me the words. And he just was putting them into my head. And these are things that I never would have thought of on my own. Friends, I am still learning how to hear God's voice. My journey is not over with God and building a relationship with God and hearing him and knowing what he is telling me. Because if your journey was over, then you wouldn't need a relationship with God any longer because you would know it all. Well, guess what, friends? We are never going to know it all. Only God knows everything, and only God can tell us what we need to know now or in the future. All right, friends, let's recap. Number 1, align yourself with God. Number 2, don't try to choose your own talents. God's already done that for you. Number 3, seize every season. And number 4, you are his masterpiece. I hope you enjoyed today's content. Please, again, hop on over to Apple Podcasts and leave me a rating and a review. That way I know which content you enjoy and it helps me to grow the show. As always, may your conversation always be full of grace and seasoned with salt. God bless you. Are you stressed and anxious at school and feel like you want to throw in the towel and become a park ranger, a basket weaver, or anything at all that isn't in education? Or are you just ready to move into a different type of job in education? Do you have interests and ambitions that you want to pursue, but feel like you don't know how to take that next step? Maybe you want to work from home or own your own business and own your own time, but don't know what to do or how to do it. Welcome to Empowered Educator. Maybe you're ready to leave your classroom job and move into administration. Maybe you want to leave public education completely and pursue a career that keeps you in the field of education, but is different than what you're doing now. Maybe you just want to make more money or work from home, but you're just not sure about the options that are out there. Hey friend, I'm Melinda, an educator, entrepreneur, coffee, and Jesus lover. When it was time for me to leave the classroom and pursue something different, something more, I knew it completely, and I had no doubt that God was telling me to move forward and to trust Him. And now my mission is to empower you to dig deep and know what options are available for teachers ready to transition from the classroom, educators ready to try something different, and educators ready to retire and pursue that second career. Imagine working in a career that sets your soul on fire, or working from home in a career you love and scheduling your entire day your way. If you're ready to make that change and pursue a different path in your educational career, then you're in the right place. Friend, let me show you how to make a change in your life and pursue your true passions with a position that you love while using your God-given gifts and talents to persevere toward your personal and professional goals. So grab your coffee or tea, your notebook and pen, and relax in your favorite spot. Friend, it's time to dig deep, take notes, and grow yourself and choose your next career path.